Greetings, diners, and welcome to another episode of The Cooking Zone. And The Cooking Zone is getting quite popular. This channel has taken off quite rapidly. Excuse me. And I want to encourage you, fellow collapsed cooks, that you should not be shy. And you can comment or add your own recipes for collapsed cooking, either inside the diner in our Cooking Zone thread, or on the YouTube channel directly, or on our social media page on Reddit, which is r/Cooking Zone. So drop in at your favorite site and share with us your recipes and comment on the ones that we do here. Okay? All right. This morning, well, no, it's the evening now. I lose track of time all the time. We are doing another soup. And soups are among my favorite collapsed food because they are easy to cook. They're usually a one-pot deal. And you can customize them, you know, for what you want to eat and what you like and so forth. And you can get, you know, canned soups and then amend them. I do that a lot. Soup amendation, as opposed to making a soup from scratch, is a lot easier and quicker. And sometimes it's cheaper, too. Actually, it's usually cheaper. And it's definitely easier. But we're sort of doing an amendation here and sort of not. What this is a totally novel creation. Nobody has ever had this soup before on planet Earth. And that includes me. Because I've never had it, you know, I never made it. And I'm just taking a bunch of stuff that I have in the fridge and creating a new soup. And plus leftovers. All right, so what's our first leftover to go in here? Well, we need a soup base, okay? So if you remember, a few days ago, I made a miso soup, which was a soup amendation. And I had leftover broth from that, you know. And I ate all the veggies, all the mushrooms, all the tofu, all the seaweed, and all the rest of that. And but I put, you know, a lot of that stuff in every bite, and so I always end up with extra broth. So I'm not going to let that delicious, tasty broth go to waste. It's going to make a whole new soup. So if you notice, I'm going in a bigger pot than this one. You see the size difference? This is about twice the volume. So this is going to be a big soup, and will feed me for several days, and would feed, you know, a family of 4 probably for 2 days. It'll make a lot of cups of soup. So okay, so the miso soup is in there, and then it's only filled up, you know, less than halfway. You know, maybe it's a third of the way filled up. I'd like to see that pot filled up about halfway with liquid. So I also had in the fridge, from some recipes that I've done recently, a box of beef broth, organic. You get the top off, there we go. See, there you go. Pacific beef broth, supposedly organic. And it's just about empty. Boom. All done, all gone. And, you know, that will make the flavor of this soup a little more beefy tasting than the miso. But there'll be both flavors in there. And it should be an interesting combination, I hope. And we're still slightly under the halfway mark. So let's add the secret ingredient, sake. more. Okay, now we got enough broth, I think. Alright, so with enough broth in there, let's get the deal turned on here. Or we're not going to have soup for a long, long time. Alright, so now that all that's in there, it's time to get in the veggies. Alright, and of course, everybody who knows me knows that I love mushrooms. And any opportunity to put mushrooms into a meal, I put the mushrooms in. So here's some sliced mushrooms. This is, I think I sliced up 5 of them. They're not huge. They're your typical white button mushrooms. I'm not using anything special. Okay, no shiitake mushrooms or oyster mushrooms or anything like that. Those are expensive. Okay, and this is a snap card meal, so I want it to be cheap, along with easy and tasty, okay, and nutritious. Okay, it should be all of the above for it to be a good soup. All right, so the mushrooms are in there, and we're going to add in also some sliced up carrots, and I think that's 2 carrots, one bigger one and one smaller one, and I considered dicing them, but I figure I'll leave them in the disc form. And 1 disc in your spoonful, along with 1 mushroom, is you know, a nice combination. And the carrots add a lot of vitamins. Okay, they are vitamin-rich food, very good for you, and they also add color. So it makes the soup start to look pretty, okay? And we want it to look pretty too, at least somewhat. All right, going in, we don't want to put those in yet. Those go in last. All right, later, after the soup has been cooking. The next thing, okay, this is green also, green stuff. Okay, this is celery, diced pretty finely. Okay, and you'll notice I've got the celery leaves in there from the top of the celery. I don't throw those out. Those are tasty, especially in soups. They lend a lot of aroma. They are quite edible, but a lot of people throw them out. They only eat the crunchy part of the celery. Okay, so I advocate using the whole celery stalk, leaves and all. Okay, don't waste anything if you can help it. There are people starving in India, literally. That was the old line from my mom. Okay, stir it around a little bit. And all in all, right now, insofar as what we've put in, this is not something that nobody on earth ever ate before. I mean, I'm sure some combination of this type of stuff has been eaten before. But now is when we get original, all right, with some leftovers that I have. All right, the first leftover is I had some feijão the other night. Feijão is Brazilian, Portuguese word for rice and beans, and there's the leftover rice and beans. Okay, I ate about a little more than half of it, and I couldn't finish. So I'm going to put the rice and beans into the soup, and that is going to add a ton of stuff. It's going to add carbos from the rice. It'll make this thing energy rich, and the beans will also add carbo and protein. Okay, beans are loaded with vegetable protein. You know, you don't only get protein from animals. Okay, and let's get it dumped in there. Okay, that's yeah, that's just about, oh, not quite all of it. Let's see if we can get the rest. Waste not, want not. And And that's good. Alright, so we got the rice and beans in there. And what the beans will also do, as this thing cooks up, is they're going to absorb water and they're gradually going to bust up. They'll hydrolyze. So they'll thicken up the soup and it'll be richer. I could have put in more miso paste. That would have been another way to do it. But miso paste is relatively expensive. And also, I had leftover beans. So, I'm not going to put miso in also. That would be overkill. And finally, the last ingredient. Well, not quite the last, because like I said, I got something I got to put in at the very end. Oh, no, I have 2 more ingredients. Let me do this one first. Another veggie, another leftover veggie from if you were around for the ultimate quiche that I made. I had spinach in it, and it's frozen spinach, and it's been drained, and it is still quite good, especially in a quiche or in a soup. And you can use it also if you're doing an Italian wedding soup. Those things have spinach in them. And, you know, just your own invention of soups, which this one is. Okay, so that is still more vitamins and more greenery in the soup. And now, the last ingredient to cook, a real Alaska ingredient, some leftover Alaskan king crab. Okay, that's the real thing. That is not Suriname or Suriname or whatever the fuck that fake crab meat is called that they serve out in the stores, which is just disgusting. It is real king crab meat. And you might say, you know, how could you have leftover king crab? Well, unfortunately, I've got a depressed appetite. I've got a great love of cooking, but I can't always eat everything that I cook up in one sitting, and stuff gets left in the fridge for a while until I figure out something to do with it. Okay, that happens all the time. And let's see if I can get this last bit in there. Okay, I got it in, crippled arm and all. And that, my friends, is all the ingredients that are going in to this soup for right now. And we're going to cover it up, and it's starting to steam, but I don't think you'll be seeing it actually simmering because video will get too long. It's already probably too long. We'll cover it, and we'll wait for it to simmer. And it's going to simmer for quite some time. I want to get those vegetables, especially the carrots and the celery, pretty soft, you know, because of my bad teeth. And so, you know, 15, 30 minutes, however long it takes. I'll test it out. And then you'll notice I didn't add any salt or pepper, which I will do after it's simmered for a while. The taste is blended, and I can test it. And salt and pepper to taste. As I have mentioned before, I don't like my food very salty anymore. Not that I ever did like it very salty. And so I wait on that stuff. You can always add salt at the end. You can't take salt away. So I suggest being judicious with your use of salt. All right. And that will be all the cooking doom this time until next time. I didn't cover any collapsed topics in this episode, even though there's a great many things going on. But I will be tomorrow covering a really big collapse news story that has been dominating the headlines all week. And, you know, I know a lot of you have been pissed at me for focusing all week on the 2019 Iditarod. And actually this Sunday I plan to publish the final finish at Nome and the winner. But I'm not going to put that article up because I got so many requests to get back to doing actual collapse news stories in my email. I got inundated, basically. And you know, it's all about the ratings. You gotta listen to your viewers. So the Iditarod final post, final video will have to wait. And now, that's all to do. This time until next time, here at the cooking zone of the Doomstead Diner. And don't forget to join us on the forum or one of our other participatory venues, YouTube or Reddit, and chat it up with us, okay? See you later.